That's right. We are live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. You are very welcome here. This is the Talking Talk. This is it's not a English class, as you know. This is a conversation platform for beginners, intermediate, and advanced levels. We have no judgments here. No one will correct you about your accent or about your English. I'm not a teacher. I am a student as you, and I'm here to improve my accent, unlock my English potential, and practice, 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 practice. This is the key for the success when you're thinking about to talk in English. And if you practice every day, you will feel more comfortable in your speech and your ideas because you start to think in English. So it's important to practice. Today, I bring a subject here for me and for Iago. Today we're going to talk about gig economy and freelance work trends. When I was thinking about the subject to bring here, I had this idea because gig economy it's a very usual subject that people use nowadays for jobs. We have a big change in the work around the world, from the jobs around the world with the digital revolution. Now you can live in Brazil and work for Europe, for example, you know. I think the best way, I don't need to move to Europe. I want to stay here and earn my salary in euros. This is the best scenario, because there is so expensive too. And I'm loving Brazil. I'd like to stay here for all of my life. So that's it. This is our subject. Iago, as I talked to you a few minutes ago, what do you understand about gig economy?
I Seeing the questions, I think the gig economy is about basically freelancing, working and doing things by yourself. Like maybe you can be a contractor in a company and do some work for a while, and then the contract can finish, and then you go for another contract in another company, or you can or you can do freelance work as I don't know, probably anything. I think that with the internet and the the kind of works that grow in the digital area and technology, people can work in almost anything online. So I think that it's this way that we will talk about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's true. When we talk about gigs in the plural are the same as freelancers. This is the new kind of economy. I'm thinking about the definition to gig economy, it's a work model, you know, you don't have a full-time position for a company. You have a part-time position as a freelancer. I don't have an hour. I just need to deliver my tasks. And a lot of people around the world have been doing that. And this is what we are going to talk about today. So please read for us the question number one and answer them, please.
Okay. How do you think the gig economy changed traditional employment models? Um, I think that I don't know. I think that now the gig economy it's growing. I don't know, maybe for the last. 5 or 6 years, I think, maybe. When you think about, for example, the when Uber or iFood started and people started to work in these apps, and it's not they now working for the app, they doing a work for their own because they do their own working hours and put I don't know how to say it, but um, como objetivo de pagamento, something like that. You can define something like that, and you work for a few hours, and then you do that, and then you go home. When I think about gig economy, I think about that when these big apps um, becomes really big, and a lot of people start working with them. But I think that freelance work exists for so much longer, and I think that when I think about with how they are changing the traditional employment models, I think about how in Brazil we say pejotização of work too, because sometimes some companies just do a contract and you're not exactly a worker, a legal worker in the company, but you are a contractor doing a service. And I think about that too. And I think that I don't know how to say it, but I think that the relationship with the companies and how we do our work is changing because of it. But of course, we know sometimes there are companies that do this kind of contracts and they want you to work full time, and that's not correct. They can do it. Uh, but yeah, I think that some things are changing in employment models because of it. You know, I don't know if I
Yes,
made
you,
myself
you
clear.
say you say you're talking about Uber and the delivery company. I don't remember the name. Remember me?
iFood,
Yes, you're talking about Uber or food, and I didn't think about that when I planning this subject, but I think this is the biggest example, the main example of gig economy, the most popular, here in Brazil. And they are a really bad example because people who enter in this gig economy, in these gig jobs, they probably have been lost your jobs and have no way and have to do it. Uh, the cost and the earns are so low, you have to put your own car to drive. And, you know, how will you maintain your own car? It's really difficult. I didn't remember about that. It's terrible. I hate those companies, I really hate those companies and I don't use these kinds of services, you know. But sometimes it's so crazy, because in my reality, I think in this way. But imagine a person that they don't have study about nothing, but he can drive. Probably it's a good way. I remember a day that I used Uber, and I was talking with the driver, and I say, "Man, it's crazy how you maintain your car." And he said, "Man, I'm working. in driving a bus, not driving, they stay at the bottom of the bus just counting the money. And when the cards coming in, I don't have more jobs, but I can drive. So there, I have just a few amount of money, and nowadays I can make a better amount of money if I compare with the past. And I stay crazy about that, and I think yes, for some people's it helps, but in the main cases, this is not the reality. In the main cases are people with 15, 16 years old that, how can I say, lose your jobs and don't have another opportunities in your whole market, and you see that what's gonna happen in the future with me if I lose my clients, I lose my freelance jobbers. What's gonna happen? It's hard to thinking about that. So, in my opinion, uh, this kind of economy changed the world in this situation that I'm talking, but we have a positive side, you know, and I will use my own example. I was working in the largest SEO agents from Brazil, and I have a good monthly payment. That's right, but again, I have a plus of visibility for the marketing, and it starts to come freelance jobs from United States and Europe. And after 2 years, I had to choose one side because I was sitting here in front of the screen for something about 14, 16 hours. It's not healthy. The money is good, but you can hold the word with two arms. And so I choose to stay as a freelancer, and I leave it my traditional job. If I have a healthcare plan, if I have a monthly paying salary, uh, it's changing my life. But some companies want to have, how can I say, ganho about this, because when you are in a global economy, we have other people who is more poor from the Brazilians, like Philippines, like Nicaragua, like India, and they started to show some positions with a few money, something like 6 euros per hour. My hour is 50, and they are offered just six, and this is a attention point, because if you don't want, that's right, other people want it in Philippines. It's crazy, but it happens. I received an email offer in this week. Hey, hi Louis, we need a person in Brazil to give us some feedback about some videos, tasks, and ads in Portuguese. We are offer 6 euros per hour. And I say, oh, thank you, but I don't want to do that. It's not interest for me. Can you give me some friends that could receive this offer? No, no, I will be ashamed to offer this kind of offer for someone. Then I know, you know, it's really hard, really, really hard. So this is my point of view and how I see that kind of things. I will read the question number two. What do you see as the main advantages and disadvantages of freelance or gig work? Well, the advantage is to work for another coin, that is better than that you have in your country. It's incredible to work in euros and work in dollars. And the disadvantage is you don't have a fixed amount of money planned to earn in the next month. You don't have it. You have to structure a network to receive the jobs, and you have to pay your health plan security, and you have to pay your all contributions. This is hard. You have to put that costs in your price. I have an amazing computer, I have a second screen, I have a great Wi-Fi, internet, I have to pay my bills. How can I will work for 6 euros per hour? You know, it's really right. And about you, what do you thinking about that?
Yeah, I think the same because, for example, for me, I'm a contractor in a company from Brazil, and and then my payment uh, it's for the work that I do. I don't have a payment that is fixed. So this part is something that bothers me. Sometimes I think, oh, I think I'm with some good earnings per month, but I think that this is not a good because sometimes I only know how my next month will be by the half of the month. By the half of the month, I know, oh, okay, next month I have enough to pay my bills. I have enough to do that thing that I am thinking about, to do a little travel, to go to the doctor.
Mhm.
And that's something that bothers me. It's okay for now, but for the future, I think it's something that it has a fixed payment, because this is that's something that really um, takes my anxiety high. I don't know if I'm saying correctly, but and I think that, and yeah, all the costs that you have to do your work, because as you said, I, I'm in the same position. I have a good notebook, I have a second screen, I have all the things that I need to do a good work, and not feel pain, not feel bothering during the day. I have a good chair, but I think there's some securities that you have when you are a CLT in Brazil, for example. We don't have. We have some
Yeah.
costs that we have to pay, and that's it. The only advantage that I see is that for example, for this company that I work, um, they don't ask me beyond the things that I have to do. They don't treat me like, how can I say it, like like a worker from the company, like a people who has to be there 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to do all the working hours. I can work in any time that I want, and that's something that we have to learn how to deal with it, because sometimes, my earnings are by the tasks that I do. So much more I do, much more I will earn that month, you know? So you have to find a balance. And sometimes I'm okay with that, but sometimes I started to see that I am working more that I should have to. And the routine becomes um exhausting sometimes, because I think that when you are in front of your computer and doing the things that you need to do, I have the feeling that now, having a remote job, I work so much more than I used to work when I needed to go to an office. I don't know, in the office you chat with the people, you lose a lot of time doing that, going other person's desk, you know.
Yeah,
and, and I think that a remote job is not. We don't have this. Every time that I am sitting here, I am working. I'm not doing other thing. I am working, and I think that we need to find this balance. And something that I really miss, is having a period of time of vacation, because that's something that I have to plan now. If I need to take a week off, 2 weeks off, it's something that I have to plan, that I will have the money, and then, okay, I can take this 1 or 2 weeks off. And I think that I don't have a vacation for the last 2 years. And sometimes it's exhausting. you know we need to Sometimes I feel like I have to get out of my house. I have to see other people because of
yeah,
it.
I understand. I have the same perception here. I'm working more than when I was in a full-time position in a company in Brazil, you know. Uh, we have some benefits about that, but we have to stay alert with our compromises, you know. It's important. About the vacations, man, I live in how can I say, in a beach town, you know. For the weekends, for me, it's okay because I have everything here. For sure, making a trip, which is amazing with my family, but we can do that in some holidays, you know. We have some holidays here and we go. My wife don't think in the same mode, you know. She loves to have 30 days off in a vacation. Uh, but for me, it's impossible. And for her, for her too, because they don't give you 30 days. Oh, you have some vacations, but I will give you just for 10 days, and after that, 10 days, and after that. You know. So it's the how the things moving on here in our house. But it's important to have a full-time position, you know. It's that what I'm looking for. Not here in Brazil, but if I don't found that in the international market, I will have to come for the Brazilian marketing, you know. But I need a full-time position, you know. And I'm here to improve my English for that, to having a great conversation, have a good speech to express myself clearly, you know. For here, for Brazilians, it's clearly, but when you talk with the people from there, it's completely different, you know. It's completely different. This is why I'm here, trying to stay here every day, practicing, practicing the language, you know. It's important. If I'm looking back for 3 months ago, I see a really big difference about my English, a really big difference. And I have some videos recorded because in 2022, a person from Europe asked me, "Hey, Louis, would you like to record a video for us? We are going to make a campaign who call it ESEO video series. We are going to talk with SEOs all around the world, and you will represent Brazil. Can you make it a presentation talking about how SEO is doing in Brazil?" And then we making a meeting, and my team will record a video for us. I have this video. Oh my God, I'm shine about that. But in my point of view, because when I asked it to her, Sarah, my English is not fluent, I can express myself. I am very good to express myself in Portuguese. I am one of the best doing that, but presentations, but in English, I don't know. Louis, your English is very clear. Don't be afraid about that. Don't be shy about that. You know, and they make me feel more confident. you know, and I have to trust in myself and record the video. But in my opinion, it's really bad. If I have this opportunity nowadays, oh my God, I will fly. you know. It's crazy about that. I see because I was recording some videos for some positions. I mean, applied for a position, and they received an email. Oh, that's right. You want a position here? Recording a video for me in English and answer me 3 questions. In the first month, they never returned my mail. Nowadays, they return. Now I can express myself in English and talking about my professional, my about my own person, my own personality, about my skills. You know, it's not in the level that I want, but it will happen. It will happen. It's important to practice.
Yes, I think I have the same goal as you. I I used to practice in English in other community. I don't know if you ever heard about English in Arrow.
No.
It's a group that they have meetings almost every day, but I think it has 2 years. And then for the last year, I didn't participate anymore, and I started to practice. I Because before, for example, I think last year I had this project that, I think I will try to read a book in English per month and practice my conversation skills and try to write a little bit. But that didn't happen. I had to do other things and focus on other things, and the English was something that I have to put beside. But this year, I put that as a goal to go back and practice. And then I met Felipe on LinkedIn, and he always talking, he always selling, talk and talk in his posts. and
Yeah.
then and then I'm here. And yes, I th- I'm here for two. I'm going for my second week only, I think.
Second week, really?
Yes, but I think that I don't know. It's something that it's weird because the first days I I have this perception that I have difficult to I it's like I can understand you, but I think I am taking too long to process what you are saying, and I
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
thinking too much about what I'm going to say.
The
and
same, the same with all of us, because in the beginning, you are always thinking in Portuguese in your mind, you know. And
yes,
when pass a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you come here every day, you start to put the words in English in your mind. It happens to me too. Now I can speak with more slowly way or more fast if I want. That's depend of the occasion, you know, but I can talk in a slowly mode because I am thinking in English, you know. Uh, it will be a natural process as it happens with me. It will happen with you. And I'm not a specialist for sure, but I am better than if I'm looking back for 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I feel more comfortable. This is the key. Feel
yes,
comfortable to speak in English and express yourself in English. This is the way.
yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's really crazy, you know, because I'm trusting a lot in the power of the mind, you know. When you think too much about something, it happens. An example, I'm obsessed about practice my English, and I live in a tourist town. I went to a soccer game on the weekend, and I'm going alone. It's near from my home. I go by walk, you know. When I enter in the stadium, and I was before the game starts, I saw a guy at the field, and I can't identify the player, you know. And have a person on my right side, and I ask, "Hey man, who is the number 45?" Oh, sorry, I don't speak Portuguese. I said, "Oh my God, why not? Where are you from?" "I'm from Germany." "Really? Are you alone?" "No, no. I'm with more two friends from Germany and three guys from Belgium." "Oh, amazing. I will explain everything to you. Come on, guys, let's meet." And I make new friends in English, taking a beer, talking about the history of the match because they don't know the context, you know. They are just going there to see the beautiful scenario of the most iconic stadium of the world, with Maracanã, you know. And it was an amazing experience because I am on fire about my English. If I didn't stay in practice, probably it will be more difficult to make new friends from other countries. It was amazing experience. I have another example on the beach. My friend have um, a surfer school, you know, in a day, in a beautiful sunny day with amazing waves, arriving a guy, "Hey, I want to rent a board," and no one speaks English. And the guy is from Scotland, and he told, "This is the perfect day for me because I live in Scotland, and there I'm surfing with the water in 6 degrees. Six, not 610. 610 is so cold." 6 degrees. It's unbelievable. Uh, I'm talking with the guy, they rented the board from my friend, go to the water, making a surf and come back with a big smile on his face. Amazing. Yeah, this is the power of mind, when you are obsessed about something, the thing happens. So the message is think positive, as Bobby Marley says on your songs.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, this is a difficult phrase because sometimes we're in trouble. No, 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 everything's gonna be all right. I have a friend who's talking about that with me. Oh, no, 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 the things don't gonna be all right with this kind of behavior that are you having. You know, don't believe in that.
Yeah, I think we need to have some balance, on the thought because
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you see to the the situation right now, for example, in Brazil with the fires and everything, all that I can
Yeah.
think is
How is, this question is just to guide the conversation if we don't interact with each other, but we are free here to talking about everything that we want. And how is that kind of situation there near your hometown?
so here we are not feeling that much. But yesterday I went to my barber and he was saying he was asking me if I saw. He said to me that he has 2 days last week probably that he saw the street and everything was gray. And he asked me
Yeah.
if I saw that. And I didn't see actually. And then he told me that when he saw in the news, he saw that the fires in the Amazon forest, the wind is spreading
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everywhere, and then the smoke appears here, and we are a little bit far from Amazon, so it was strange to think about it. But yeah, the fires is not affecting that much here, but I think that the weather is really hot and most dry than last year, for example. Now
Mhm,
sometimes I have to put I don't know how to say in English, but umidificador de ar
mhm.
here in my office in the afternoons because it's really dry and you feel your throat, your nose dry. But besides that, I think that that's the thing that we're feeling the most here. But I have a friend from Mococa in São Paulo, and he said, and he, he his city is between the fire, right in the middle, I think.
Sorry, I forgot the name of your city. Could you repeat the name of your city?
Apoiarés.
Apueiras is in the middle of the state, or it's near to the beach?
It's near to the beach. It's like 2 hours from Fortaleza. It's
Two
close.
hours from.
Yes.
Yeah,
And here in the region that I live, we have a few bits in other cities, not only Fortaleza. We have
yeah,
other
but
cities.
it's not a city that you have like here you are beachfront. I'm not in front of the beach here. I live in a district. It's something about 5 miles from the ocean, but it's a beachfront city. The city is in our the beach is in our city. I don't think that you are not in the same situation. I have a
Yes.
friend from São Paulo too. He have a farm in Mococa. I don't have been talking with him for a few months, but I imagine that they are in troubles. Here we have the same situation about the fog, it's like a fog that is stay on the city all during the day. The something like, it's sun, but we have a fog above the sun. You know,
It's
it's
like
so
a
crazy.
future. You see
Yes,
the sun, but it's a little bit
exactly,
blurry.
exactly. It's like a future, and I don't know what we're gonna have in the future with the world, especially here in Brazil. We have a lot of nature resources, but I identified that the people don't care about that. In the same, imagine this situation. Brazil is burning, and I saw a news in global news. They are talking about the climate change, and they talking about the scenario of our government parliamentary about this situation, and they divide for one side a bancada do gado, and the other side a bancada do agro, and just a few participations in the ecological side. They are trying to buy buildings in front of the beach. They want to take catching fire on the forest to put the things there. They don't care about that. They are seeing that the climate situation is terrible, but they still working against the nature. you know. And we are, as I said before, a country that have a lot of nature resources. Brazil is amazing. Go to Europe. I went to London in 22. They don't. They just have buildings. They don't have more space to buy the things because they devastated everything. Look to the Europe, the same scenario, you know.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that in Brazil we have amazing things, amazing places. We don't have we I think we can see almost everything in Brazil. We have the beaches, we have the I don't know how to say serra in English, but you have the
And you can say the mountains or the hills.
oh yes.
I'm gonna travel to the hills. I'm gonna travel to the mountains. It's the same way.
Oh nice. And you have sometimes you can see snow in the south of Brazil. You don't have
Yeah.
to go that far to see everything. You were thinking about the the politics and about what they defend. And then I remember in July we went to Natal in Rio Grande do Norte, and then we went to a little community and we were doing a little traveling in this community. And the guide says that there was a construction, and we saw that it was in a big field, really big field, and it was meant to be a big resort from Gustavo Lima. And the only thing that me and my husband could think was how how this is probably a preservation space. Probably you couldn't do this, but when you have the money, you can do almost everything.
Yeah.
And then he was telling that Gustavo Lima gave to the city a little square. He reformed a square in the city, and he was like, "Oh, now my my bills are paid," you know. And yeah, it was a big. it was a big green space that it was without any trees, and you see that it was like a preservation field actually. And yeah, that's sad because you know when we look for the agro and this kind of thing, we know that, for example, all the the water getting expensive, it comes from the agro.
The life will have a more expensive cost. Simple things like water.
Yes,
I don't know where uh what's going on with the world over 100 years. I care about my daughter with 7 years. Probably I will have with 52. I will live for more something about 30 years. I don't know what's gonna happen in 50 or 60 years. I imagine a terrible scenario. It's really hard thinking about that. But if we thinking about that every time, we will stay crazy.
yes,
And we can truth in the human. It's really hard, but you want to truth about that.
yeah.
Iago, amazing conversation. We have just 4 minutes. We have another emission after that at 5 p.m. I want to know about your feedback and about your impressions about this conversation.
Yeah, I think it was great. The topic that you brought today, it's a really nice topic. I I think that we have some common point of view about specifically the topic, and
Yeah.
then the other way that the conversation went, it was great too. You know.
Thank you for sharing. It's a pleasure to having this conversation with you. It's always a pleasure. And it will be more frequently. We'll have meeting here in days. I'm not coming here every day nowadays. I come here just for 2 days of per week, on Thursday and Tuesday. And it was a really nice conversation. Thank you a lot. You received a survey on your email, I think, that what you think about your conversation. It's important for Philippe to know if the conversation is good, if the level of the conversation and the pronunciation and the unlocked potential in English is good. Feel free to give your answers. And that's it. Thanks a lot. YouTube, bye-bye. Thank you to come here to see us. And it was a pleasure to have this conversation. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Luis. See you